The video that you are about to view contains material created by the Writing and Reading Center at Fresno City College. We base the information used on fact and research to the best of our knowledge. As the viewer of this video, you should always follow the directions given to you by your instructor. The materials covered in these videos should be viewed as supplemental only.
Hi, and welcome to The Tutors. My name is Adrian.
And my name is Ashley. In this video, we will be discussing how to avoid fragments.
Are you ready to get started?
Yes, let's start by giving a simple definition of a fragment. A fragment is a sentence or clause that is missing a subject, a verb, or both. A fragment can also be a dependent clause that is misused as a sentence. We'll give some examples of clauses without subjects.
But first, a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. A common error is when a writer forgets to put a subject in the second clause of a sentence. We will use dependent and independent clauses in our examples.
Think of a child. A child is dependent on an adult and therefore cannot survive without an adult. However, an adult is independent. Think of a child as the dependent clause and an adult as an independent clause.
I'll never look at children and adults the same way ever again.
Let's look at some incomplete clauses. I want to go to the movies, comma, but have a lot of homework.
There seems to be something missing in that second part of the sentence. Is it the subject, the verb, or both?
You're right, something is missing. If you look closely, the subject is missing the but have a lot of homework. Who has a lot of homework?
Since a comma and coordinate conjunction join two independent clauses, there must be a subject in each sentence. I want to go to the movies, but have a lot of homework. Remember, two independent clauses are actually two sentences, so they need a subject. This means that there must be a comma before the coordinated conjunction and a subject in both clauses. Let's add the subject, which is I.
I want to go to the movies, but I have a lot of homework.
Let's look at another example that has no subject in the second clause. My friend is very nice because she always shares her lunch.
Yes, I do.
We're not friends.
This sentence needs to have a subject between the subordinating conjunction and the verb. In this sentence, you should use a specific pronoun to refer back to the subject in the first clause.
My friend is very nice because she always shares her lunch.
Yeah, I do. Here's one last example. Stacy and Ashley drive carefully when drive to school.
This sentence is also missing a pronoun to refer to the subjects, Stacy and Ashley. You can correct it by adding a pronoun, they.
Stacy and Ashley drive carefully when they drive to school.
Now let's look at a sentence without a verb. It is important that every sentence has a verb. One common mistake is to forget a helping verb. Let's take a look at an example. My friends in their class every Friday afternoon.
This sentence is missing the helping verb are. The sentence can be corrected by putting the helping verb between the subject and the preposition.
My friends are in their class every Friday afternoon. This is a complete sentence because it has the subject, the verb, and it expresses a complete thought.
As we stated earlier, one way you can avoid fragments is by understanding dependent clauses. You cannot have a dependent clause as a sentence because a dependent clause requires an independent clause. Remember our analogy of the child and the adult? A dependent clause cannot exist as a sentence by itself. It depends on the independent clause, which can survive as a sentence all by itself.
Let's identify the dependent clause, which happens to be a fragment because it's standing on its own.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want those in our paper.
Here's an example. I like my room because it has my computer and my bed. In this example, the first sentence is an independent clause and the second sentence is a dependent clause, which makes it a fragment because it's being used as an individual sentence.
Starting a sentence with a conjunction is unnecessary in this situation. Let's correct this sentence. First, identify the subordinating conjunction because. Once you identify the conjunction, you are ready to identify the dependent clause. Because it has my computer and my bed.
Instead of having this as an individual sentence, combine it with the independent clause. For example, I like my room because it has my computer and my bed.
The conjunction is in the middle of both clauses, so you don't need the comma. Now let's correct another fragment. So I study every day.
In order to do this, you need to add an independent clause. For example, I want to get good grades.
Here are the two clauses combined into one sentence. I want to get good grades, comma, so I study every day.
It's important to know that you can use subordinating and coordinating conjunctions to join the clauses together. The first example did not need a comma because the subordinating conjunction was in the second clause. I like my room because it has my computer and bed.
The second sentence needs a comma after the independent clause because the writer is using a coordinating conjunction, also known as fanboys. I want to get good grades, comma, so I study every day.
Before we go, here are a few common subordinating conjunctions, which are sometimes called dependent marker words.
Some, but not all of these words are because, though, while, when, since, if, as if, although, in order to, and after.
That's a lot of information. We hope that you have a better understanding of how to avoid fragments.
If you seek further support, check out the links we have posted below.
If you need help with additional terminology regarding English, reading, or writing, check out our other videos.
Don't forget that you can also come by the FCC Writing and Reading Center. Our hours and locations are also listed below.
And if you're feeling adventurous, test your knowledge by trying the self-assessment based on this video. The link is posted down below.
Good luck. Bye.
Bye.